Hi, it's been a while since I've last did an update about Go Play Outside. So, to get anyone who hasn't heard about it yet up to speed, it is a project for getting VR set up in hospitals, particularly children's wards, and to connect the kids both within the ward together, as well as with created experiences communicating with those outside through various entertainment. And a big part of that was what I called passing the mom test, which is why I called it Go Play Outside. Is why do mothers tell their kids to go play outside when they're absorbed in a particularly a new technology, whether that was television or tablets or phones or yada yada yada. So the mom test is it positive on the social level, on the physical level, and on the mental level? So are they making friendships and they building friendships? Physically, are they physically active? So that was a big plus for virtual reality, is as opposed to just with controllers, they're actually getting some movement because they're pretty limited in terms of the movement they can do in a hospital bed, but they can still move their arms. And then as well as the mental, is it just going through the motions, like just simple things, or is it actually engaging them mentally? And usually that's tied in with the social as well. So if I can put parents at ease, knowing that they just have their kids strapped into a headset and they hear the kids laughing, have a great time, but if the parents can't feel at ease, this isn't going to go anywhere. And so a big part of this was I needed a headset, and so to that they would be able to see and hear what the kid is seeing and hearing. And so there'd be no doubt as to what's going on. And so I decided on the original Quest when it came out. Unfortunately, I could never get supply of it last year. Although it actually was a blessing in disguise, because considering a year later how messy the situation is, it probably saved me a whole lot of headache because you still haven't fixed it. So I'm going to detail now the issues I've been having and how we're still going to tackle the passing the mom test. So you could break it into two possible ways of having the parents hear and see what's going on. So that is physically connecting it, or having it wireless. Now you can break in the wireless into two things as well. So I'm going to break it down into the total three. So we've got Oculus Link. So that's the only physical way you can connect the Oculus Quest, is through the Oculus Link. Well, you don't have to use their link cable, but a USB Type C cable plugged into your computer. It can be Type A on the computer end, but it's a Type C on the headset. You've also got so that's for the physical. Now you've got two ways of doing it wirelessly. So you can either cast slash stream. So you can, because it's integrated with Facebook, you can, right from the headset, you can stream to Facebook, or you can cast it to a browser. And then lastly, you can use things like ALVR or virtual desktop, or AMD's Relive VR. All right. So let's go through these three different options and the issues thus far. Okay, so for the Oculus Link, right now, AMD is a no-go. Or particularly AMD laptops. And because what I need to do at a laptop, I'm not taking a desktop system. No-go. So that means not only just AMD graphics cards. Now AMD's graphics cards, let's tackle that first. So AMD GPUs, doubly so. I think that's right. So with AMD GPUs, it's long been known that their encoder just stinks. It is hot garbage, the H.264 encoder. Now, if I want to use the Oculus Link, why they're not supporting currently the HEVC encoder, I don't know. You think Facebook would be able to sort the licensing out with that, and if they would, it would actually be decent quality. As it stands right now, if I can get Oculus to work, it is very grainy and blocky. And to get it to work, and this is why I say AMD laptops are no-go, because if you have an AMD laptop, it is going to be APU. It's going to have a built-in GPU. Now, how it handles it right now, and so AMD haven't given me any additional information. We've been back and forth with a particular tech, and someone also submitted some information for me. But right now, they're just stuck on the stance of if it's a hybrid system, they do not support Relive, and they do not. So this is right off. That takes this off. And then their encoder, they currently don't also support HEVC through Oculus, which I guess is more Oculus' fault in this regard. But so if you can get it to work, it's grainy. But to get it to work, there's two ways I had to do it. So either A, I need to go into the device manager. I had a previous video about this. I had to disable the integrated graphics to force it for the Oculus software to force it to use the dedicated graphics card. I couldn't set it in Windows, like just set it to performance GPU. No, it wouldn't do that. So switchable graphics, hybrid graphics, all that, you're going to have issues. So not only laptops, but I suspect, and I never heard back. I was trying to get clarification from AMD what their stance is on system like APUs in a desktop with a dedicated GPU. Would you have to disable the integrated in the BIOS? Would that have to be an option? It's unclear at this point, and so if anyone wants to let me know, I don't know if people with desktop APUs are going to have issues with this as well. But laptops, you're going to have this issue. So either A, you're going to have to disable the integrated Vega graphics within the device manager, or B, a really convoluted solution, which obviously is not going to work for this project. I had to get an external monitor, plug it into the HDMI output, set that monitor as the primary monitor, and so that ensures that the dedicated graphics card is enabled at all times, because the output is dedicated to the dedicated graphics card. It is tied the output to the dedicated graphics card. So that ensures that is the main part that's running all the time. And so then when I activate Octus Link, then I actually get it to work, even though it is grainy. So now I've had some people have issues with not like my particular one has got AMD APU, dedicated AMD GPU. I've also had people with AMD APUs. That's the only option laptops. There's no such thing as as far as I know, a Ryzen desktop CPU. That's just the CPU without the built-in Vega graphics, and then NVIDIA GeForce card. So yeah, just it sucks as it stands right now. I can't recommend any AMD system for the Quest 2. Their encode is so bad that a 6.5-year-old NVIDIA mid-range GPU is better than it. The old GTX 750 Ti still has better encoding than a AMD GPU from 2020. Okay, so Oculus Link right now is too finicky. I have debated going to Intel slash NVIDIA based laptops. They would cost to get that same level of performance or similar. That would mean either GTX 10 or 1660 Ti or RTX 2060. That will cost me about $400 more per unit, particularly if I want to go for the RTX 2060. And so that's just going to blow the budget. So that sucks. So this is right now pretty much a showstopper. So now it goes down to these two here. So it's either cast or stream it, or use the wires. So the upside of this is this is already built in, these capabilities. It's built in the headset. I don't have to switch interfaces. It's just I click the little cast button, and then I can choose. I can either cast it to a browser, or like right here, I would log in and then I just hit cast, and then boop, it would pop up. Or I can stream it to Facebook Live. Now, initially, when I first tried this in beta, the casting to a browser, it did not support audio. It does now. And fortunately, it does not pick up your mic, because you wouldn't want that in the same room broadcast, because you can already hear that, at least for my purposes. So that's actually a pro. The latency in between what you're on the headset and the browser on my 11AC network here, it was probably in the tens of milliseconds, maybe as high as 100 milliseconds. So it's got a slight echo to it, and if it was loud enough, it would throw off my speech cadence. But it's perfectly functional for having someone else hear what's going on. The downside of either of these two options is I would have to it would cost thousands of dollars to. I would have to start creating Quest ready content. I was hoping a bit more of a turnkey solution. I'd have to start getting some world designers, and then get some avatar makers to start making more Quest compatible avatars in VR chat. And so if I have to do that, then so be it. But that's the downside of doing it that, because already right now there's a bunch of people I can't meet up with because there's so many worlds that are not compatible with the Quest, and so many avatars I can't view. And every time someone joins a world, even in the most optimum conditions, when I'm running VR chat directly off the Quest, it stutters every time someone joins. Now, stream, it's not really practical for this use case. The latency is probably on the order of around 20 seconds. So that is not going to be useful when I want the parents knowing what they're doing at that moment. That's not really. They're only going to see what they're reacting to, 20 seconds later. That's the immersion is ruined, as it were. So that's out for this use case. Okay, so now we've got ALVR and virtual desktop and Relive. So I've already discussed Relive VR. Apparently it does support HEVC, so that's good. That means the video quality isn't going to suck, which would be oddly enough that you'd get better quality, better performance going through Wi-Fi than a direct cable. It's like, what's going on there? Actually, before I forget, there was another oddity I noticed when I was using Oculus Link. Is the encoding was wonky. There was a bottleneck it clearly wasn't the system. So I'd get the rendered preview on my monitor I plugged in, and the performance just looked fine. It was smooth. But as soon as I put on the headset, so I can see like under the nose, okay, that looks nice and smooth. But on the headset, it looks like the encoder couldn't keep up. I did a performance preview. It said it was running at around almost pinned at 100% all the time, and the I would say it looked around like 20 frames a second. When I was playing Creed VR, when I went into a bigger open area, and so it not only is the quality, the encoding quality horrible, but it looks like the encoding performance is also a bottleneck. So yeah, just another thing that's making Oculus Link not so great. Okay, so Relive also is out with any AMD laptop. Why did you decide that? And apparently the drivers from last year worked with APUs. You could install Relive, and there's a workaround, so you can use the old last year's interface to get Relive on the APUs. But if you install the latest drivers, you will not be able to use Relive VR in order to have it rendered on the laptop. But so that's out. So now we're stuck just with ALVR and virtual desktop. So these I will do a separate video on discussing the pros and cons of each of these and what I ultimately decide on. Because it's likely to be one of these two if I can get decent, satisfactory performance and it's consistent. And not having to jump through a bunch of hoops like I have to do with Oculus Link. Because if I can get these two working, then I won't have to be putting out a bunch of money to have a bunch of new content redone just for Quest. I can have it all rendered on a moderately priced gaming laptop. So that's where we stand for now. Thanks for checking in, and I will catch you in the next video.